Hey warriors, people talk too much. They explain themselves, justify their actions, and beg to be understood. And yet, they wonder why no one respects them. The problem is simple. You are trying to command authority with words, when true power has never needed them. Silence has always frightened people more than noise, because noise can be challenged, argued with, ignored, but silence leaves the mind alone with itself. As the narrator, let me tell you this clearly. Authority is not born from what you say, but from what you refuse to say. Most people believe power announces itself, yet history quietly laughs at them. True power arrives without introduction, sits without permission, and speaks only when the room has already surrendered. Watch how insecure men behave. They over-explain. They justify every decision. They rush to be understood. Their mouths move faster than their minds because silence terrifies them. Silence exposes weakness. It forces others to look inward, and insecure people cannot tolerate that. So they speak, and every unnecessary word strips them of authority. The powerful understand a different law. Silence creates pressure. Pressure creates obedience. When you do not rush to fill the air, others will do it for you. They reveal their intentions, their fears, their weaknesses, while you reveal nothing. In silence, you control the tempo. In silence, you decide when the game begins. Machiavelli knew this well. A ruler who speaks often teaches his enemies how to think. A ruler who listens teaches his enemies how to betray themselves. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is strategy disguised as calm. It forces people to wonder what you know, what you are planning, and whether they are already too late. Imagine entering a room and saying nothing. No greeting, no explanation, just presence. The room adjusts itself around you. People glance, they speculate, they become careful. Silence shifts the burden of interaction onto others. Now they must impress you. Now they must earn your response. This is authority without effort. Understand this. Words can be challenged, but silence cannot be attacked. When you speak, you give others something to push against. When you remain silent, there is nothing to grab, nothing to twist, nothing to weaponize against you. Silence makes you untouchable. Notice how judges pause before delivering a verdict. Notice how generals wait before giving an order. That pause is not hesitation. It is dominance. It signals control. It tells everyone watching that time bends around their decision. Silence stretches moments, and stretched moments magnify power. People fear silence because silence suggests certainty. It suggests you do not need approval. It suggests you already know the outcome, and certainty unsettles those who live in doubt. When you speak less, every word you do choose to speak carries weight. Scarcity creates value. Silence is scarcity perfected. Most men beg to be heard. The powerful decide when to be listened to. There is a difference. Silence forces respect because it refuses to compete. It does not argue for attention. It assumes it, and assumptions, when unchallenged, become reality. In conversation, the one who breaks silence first usually loses leverage. They reveal impatience. They reveal need. They reveal fear of being ignored. Silence communicates the opposite. It communicates abundance. It communicates self-sufficiency. It communicates that you are not dependent on reaction or validation. When conflict arises, silence becomes even more lethal. While others raise their voices, you lower yours or say nothing at all. Their anger exposes their lack of control. Your calm exposes yours. People instinctively follow those who appear unshaken. Silence is emotional mastery made visible. Do not mistake silence for passivity. Silence is active restraint. It is the discipline to withhold when instinct screams to respond. It is the decision to let others exhaust themselves while you conserve energy. Every unspoken word is a calculated move. Think of silence as a vacuum. Nature hates a vacuum. People will rush to fill it. They will speak too much. They will confess too much. They will negotiate against themselves. All you have to do is listen. Authority grows quietly in those moments. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop inviting judgment. When you stop defending yourself, you stop validating attacks. Silence draws a boundary without ever having to state one. It says without sound that you are not available for nonsense. Those who master silence become unpredictable, and unpredictability breeds caution. People tread carefully around what they cannot read. They respect what they cannot manipulate. Silence removes you from the battlefield of ego and places you above it. In the end, silence is not about saying nothing. It is about saying nothing until saying something will change everything. Power is not loud. Power does not rush. Power does not announce itself with dramatic gestures or emotional reactions. Power enters the room already settled, already grounded, already in control. As the narrator, understand this truth: fear and respect are born from restraint, not aggression. Anyone can be violent, anyone can shout, anyone can lose control. But only a disciplined mind can remain still while everyone else reveals their chaos. Controlled presence is the art of being felt without forcing attention. It is the calm gravity that pulls eyes toward you without demanding them. People often mistake intensity for power, but intensity burns fast and exposes insecurity. Controlled presence endures. It lingers. It makes people uneasy because they cannot predict your next move. Most individuals betray themselves through their movements before they ever speak. Nervous hands, shifting posture, restless feet. Every uncontrolled motion is a confession. It says, "I am not comfortable in my own skin." Those who command fear and respect master their physical stillness. They move slowly, deliberately, as if time itself must adjust to their pace. Machiavelli understood that appearance shapes reality. A ruler who looks unshaken becomes unshakable in the minds of others. Controlled presence is visual dominance. It signals that you are not reacting to the environment is reacting to you. When you do not rush, people assume you have options. When you do not fidget, people assume confidence. When you do not overreact, people assume authority. There is something deeply unsettling about someone who does not respond the way they are expected to. Anger seeks a mirror. Provocation seeks a reaction. When you deny it, the other person loses balance. Their power collapses because it depended on controlling your emotions. Controlled presence removes that control and keeps it for yourself. Fear is not created by threat. It is created by the belief that you are capable of action but choose restraint. A man who cannot control himself is dangerous for a moment. A man who controls himself is dangerous always. People fear what is contained, not what is spilled everywhere. Your presence should communicate that you do not need to prove anything. Proving is for the uncertain. Explaining is for the weak. Those who command respect allow others to reach conclusions on their own, and the conclusions people reach without guidance are often far more powerful than anything. You could have said, "Observe how leaders of influence behave under pressure. They do not match energy, they absorb it. While others escalate, they decelerate. While others speak faster, they pause longer." This contrast amplifies their dominance. Controlled presence is contrast weaponized. The body becomes a tool of authority when it is disciplined. Shoulders relaxed, spine upright, head level, movements minimal, nothing wasted. Every motion intentional. Even stillness becomes communication. It tells the room that you are comfortable with silence, with attention, with tension. People respect those who appear unmovable. They fear those who appear unreadable. Controlled presence delivers both. When no one can tell what excites you, what angers you, or what intimidates you, they begin to assume that nothing does. That assumption alone elevates your status without effort. In social settings, the one who tries the least often dominates the most. Desperation repels respect. Ease attracts it. Controlled presence is ease sharpened into authority. It is the ability to remain composed when others seek to disrupt your balance. Machiavelli warned that fear is more reliable than love, but fear without control becomes hatred. Controlled presence creates clean fear. Fear without chaos. Fear without resentment. It is fear rooted in admiration and uncertainty, not in cruelty. When you control your reactions, you control the narrative. Others expect predictable emotional responses. When those responses never arrive, they begin to second-guess themselves. Doubt weakens opponents faster than confrontation ever could. Understand this: every time you restrain an impulse, you gain power. Every time you resist the urge to respond immediately, you strengthen your position. Controlled presence is patience sharpened into dominance. It allows you to choose when to act rather than being forced to react. The most commanding figures in history were not remembered for what they said in moments of chaos, but for how unmoved they remained while chaos unfolded around them. Their stillness became legend. Their restraint became authority. To master controlled presence is to master yourself first. And once you master yourself, others sense it instantly. They may not know why they respect you. They may not know why they hesitate before challenging you, but they feel it. And feelings guide behavior more than logic ever will. Power does not begin with action. It begins with awareness. The man who sees everything rarely needs to do anything. Observation is the quiet dominance that precedes every decisive move. As the narrator, understand this clearly. Those who watch carefully control those who act carelessly. Most people rush to perform, to speak, to assert themselves, unaware that every action exposes them. The observer, however, remains hidden in plain sight, gathering leverage without lifting a finger. People reveal far more than they intend. Their tone shifts when they lie. Their posture tightens when they feel threatened. Their words accelerate when they are uncertain. But these signals are invisible to those who are too busy talking. Observation requires restraint, patience, and a willingness to let others underestimate you. And underestimation is one of the greatest advantages a person can possess. Machiavelli understood that knowledge is power only when it is asymmetrical. If everyone knows what you know, it loses value. The observer accumulates private knowledge while revealing none. This imbalance creates dominance. When you know others' patterns, fears, and motivations, you no longer need to confront them directly. You can predict them. And what can be predicted can be controlled. In any interaction, the one who watches sets the frame. While others chase approval, the observer studies reactions. While others argue, the observer notes who grows emotional, who grows silent, who seeks validation. These observations are not harmless details. They are psychological blueprints. Over time, they allow you to see people not as they present themselves, but as they truly are. Observation unsettles people because it feels like exposure. Being watched without feedback creates discomfort. Humans crave signals, nods, smiles, responses. When those signals are absent, the mind fills the gap with insecurity. Silence combined with observation amplifies this effect. It makes people question their performance, their words, their standing. A watchful presence communicates authority without confrontation. It suggests that you are evaluating, not competing. Those who feel evaluated adjust their behavior. They become cautious, they self-correct, they restrain themselves. Observation turns others into their own jailers. Those who rush to be seen are often the weakest. They confuse visibility with importance. But true power prefers anonymity. It allows others to reveal themselves first. The observer never interrupts the flow. He lets it unfold naturally. Every uninterrupted moment reveals intention. In conflict, observation becomes a weapon. While others argue positions, the observer studies emotional reactions. Who becomes defensive? Who over-explains? Who avoids eye contact? These signals reveal where pressure will work and where it will fail. Observation allows you to strike precisely rather than blindly. Machiavelli advised rulers to understand human nature deeply, not morally but strategically. Observation is how that understanding is built. You do not need trust to gain information. You need patience. People will tell you everything if you let them talk long enough. They will expose their desires, their resentments, their ambitions, all while believing they are in control of the conversation. The observer rarely reacts immediately. Reaction wastes information. The first impulse response reveals more about you than about the situation. By delaying reaction, you allow the full picture to form. You allow others to commit to their behavior. Once they do, they cannot easily retreat. Observation also creates an aura of depth. People assume that those who watch quietly are thinking deeply. Whether this is true or not becomes irrelevant. Perception becomes reality. The perception of depth creates respect. Respect creates hesitation. Hesitation creates advantage. Those who are skilled observers often appear calm, even detached. This detachment is mistaken for indifference, but it is anything but. It is focused attention without emotional investment. Emotional distance preserves clarity. Clarity preserves control. When you observe consistently, patterns emerge. No one is as unpredictable as they believe themselves to be. Everyone follows habits, speech rhythms, emotional triggers. Once you see the pattern, you see the person. And once you see the person, you see their limits. The psychology of observation also protects you. By watching first, you avoid unnecessary exposure. You do not reveal opinions prematurely. You do not commit before understanding the terrain. You remain flexible, adaptable, hard to trap. People often fear being judged, but they fear being understood even more. Observation leads to understanding, and understanding, when held quietly, becomes power. Others sense that you see through them, even if they cannot explain how or why. In social hierarchies, observers often rise silently. They are underestimated until they are suddenly unavoidable. Their influence grows unnoticed until it becomes undeniable. This is not coincidence. It is the result of accumulated insight aptly aired at the right moment. Observation transforms silence into surveillance and stillness into strategy. It allows you to command without commanding, to influence without revealing intent, to dominate without confrontation. Because when you know more than you show, you always stand on higher ground. Before you ever enter a room, a judgment has already been made about you. Before you speak, you have already been categorized. Before you act, expectations are already set. This is the silent battlefield where power is won or lost. As the narrator understands this truth, reputation moves faster than reality, and perception often outruns truth. Machiavelli knew this well. Men are judged by what they appear to be long before they are judged by what they actually do. Reputation is power in advance. It is influence that arrives before effort. When people believe something about you, they act as if it is already true. This belief shapes their behavior, their caution, their respect, and their fear. A strong reputation reduces resistance. A weak reputation invites challenge. Most people make the mistake of trying to prove themselves through constant action. They hustle loudly, explain endlessly, and react emotionally to every doubt. In doing so, they reveal insecurity. They fight for recognition instead of allowing recognition to come to them. Those who understand power reverse this process. They shape reputation first, then let reputation do the heavy lifting. Reputation is built not through grand gestures, but through consistency. People do not remember everything you do, but they remember patterns. Patterns form stories. Stories become reputation. If your actions are unpredictable and emotional, your reputation becomes unstable. If your actions are measured and controlled, your reputation becomes solid. Machiavelli warned rulers that it is safer to be feared than loved, if ni cannot be both, because fear is anchored in expectation. People fear what they believe will happen if they cross a line. Reputation defines where that line is. When your reputation suggests consequences, people hesitate before testing you. The most effective reputation is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet and undeniable. It is built on the idea that you do not act unnecessarily, but when you do, it is decisive. This creates psychological pressure. People begin to imagine outcomes without you ever having to demonstrate them. Reputation is not about popularity. Popularity invites familiarity, and familiarity erodes authority. Reputation, on the other hand, creates distance. Distance preserves mystique. Mystique fuels respect. When people do not fully know you, they fill the gaps with assumptions. Those assumptions often magnify your power. Those who command respect understand that consistency matters more than intensity. One uncontrolled outburst can undo years of disciplined behavior. One impulsive decision can fracture a carefully constructed image. Reputation is fragile because it exists in the minds of others, not in your own intentions. People watch for contradictions. They look for cracks. They test boundaries. Reputation survives these tests only when actions align with image. If you present yourself as calm, you must remain calm under pressure. If you present yourself as decisive, hesitation will be remembered longer than confidence. Reputation also protects you from unnecessary conflict. When people believe you are not easily moved, they avoid provoking you. When they believe you are fair but firm, they adjust their behavior accordingly. This is power without confrontation, influence without explanation. Machiavelli emphasized that rulers must appear virtuous while being ready to act ruthlessly when required. Reputation is the appearance. Action is the reserve. The mistake many make is revealing their full capacity too early. Once everything is known, leverage disappears. Mystery sustains authority. Those with strong reputations do not chase validation. They let others speak for them. Whispers carry more weight than announcements. Second-hand stories feel more authentic than self-praise. When others define you, the definition feels earned. Reputation shapes the lens through which all your actions are interpreted. The same behavior can be seen as confidence or arrogance, strength or cruelty, depending on the reputation that precedes it. This is why controlling perception matters more than controlling opinion. Understand that reputation is cumulative. It is built slowly and destroyed quickly. Every decision either reinforces or weakens it. Discipline in small moments preserves power in large ones. Those who neglect the small moments find themselves constantly repairing damage. Reputation also creates fear of disappointment. When people expect strength from you, they are unsettled by the thought of crossing you. When people expect consistency, unpredictability becomes alarming. Expectations discipline others before you ever have to. The goal is not to intimidate constantly, but to establish a baseline of respect that does not require maintenance. Reputation allows you to conserve energy. It works while you remain still. It speaks while you remain silent. Those who understand reputation do not rush to act. They know that sometimes the strongest move is to let belief do the work. Action, when finally taken, feels inevitable rather than surprising. Reputation, once solidified, becomes a shadow that follows you everywhere. It shapes rooms before you enter them. It bends conversations before they begin. It alters outcomes before decisions are made. And when reputation is aligned with restraint, observation, and silence, power becomes effortless, because others behave as if your authority has already been proven. Power was never meant to be loud. It was never meant to beg for attention or demand validation. True authority operates beneath the surface, where influence is felt long before it is seen. Throughout this script, one truth has remained constant. Fear and respect are not created through force, but through control. Silence establishes your authority before words ever can. It removes you from reaction and places you in command of timing. Controlled presence anchors that silence in discipline, ensuring that your body, your energy, and your composure reinforce the message without effort. Observation sharpens your advantage, allowing you to see motives, patterns, and weaknesses while revealing nothing of your own. And reputation ensures that by the time action is required, resistance has already dissolved. Machiavelli understood that the most powerful figures rarely needed to assert dominance openly. Their power was assumed, not argued. They shaped perception so thoroughly that opposition weakened itself before confrontation ever occurred. This is the essence of command without speech. When you master these principles, you no longer chase respect. You attract it. You no longer threaten fear. You inspire it quietly. People hesitate around you not because you are loud, but because you are precise. Not because you are aggressive, but because you are controlled. The world is filled with noise, emotion, and impulsive action. Those who rise above it are noticed immediately. They become steady points in unstable environments, and stability, when combined with restraint, becomes dominance. You do not need to announce power. You need to embody it. When silence becomes your language, presence your signature, observation your advantage, and reputation your shield, you command fear and respect without ever saying a word.